After 32 years of marriage, he didn't just leave her. He left Sandra Collins with nothing at the house. Not the money, not even dignity. At 61 years old, Sandra Collins stood in an empty living room with a suitcase and nowhere to go. Thought that would end her story. He was wrong. Sandra Collins wasn't always alone. For over 3 decades, she was a wife, a mother, a woman who built her life around someone else's dreams. She met her husband at just 27. He was charming, ambitious, confident, and Sandra believed in him while he built his career. She built their home. She cooked. She cared. She sacrificed every promotion he got, every success he celebrated. Sandra stood behind him, quietly, faithfully, without ever asking, "What about me?" But somewhere along the way, things changed. Get late nights got later, conversations got shorter, and the distance between them became impossible to ignore until one evening, he finally said it. "I don't love you anymore." Just like that, no warning, no apology. And within months, he was gone. A bit. He didn't leave empty-handed. He took the house, the savings, the life they built together, and Sandra Collins, she was left with nothing. Nights with a hard silence filled every corner of her small apartment. Bills piled up on the tablet. Sandra's hands trembled every time she opened another envelope. She had never worked a real job, never handled finances, never imagined she would have to start over at 61. Sometimes, Sandra would sit by the window for hours, asking herself one question: is this how my life ends? One morning, something shifted. Sandra Collins stood in front of the mirror, gray hair, tired eyes. But behind all that, there was something else, a strength, quiet, but still there. And for the first time in months, Sandra said it out loud: "I'm not done yet." It didn't happen overnight. Sandra started small, cleaning houses, helping neighbors, learning things she never thought she'd need. She made mistakes, felt embarrassed, wanted to quit more than once, but she didn't slow. Things began to change. She saved her first $100, then $500, then more. Sandra took a small online course, learned basic skills, and one day, she started her own small service business. It wasn't perfect, but it was hers. Years passed, and Sandra Collins, she wasn't just surviving anymore. She was thriving. Her business grew, her confidence returned, and for the first time in her life, she wasn't living for someone else. She bought her own place, paid every bill on her own, and stood tall, not as someone's wife, but as her own person. And then one day, he came back older, quieter, regret written all over his face. He told Sandra he made a mistake with it. He missed her. That he wanted another chance. Sandra Collins looked at him, the man she once gave everything to, and for a moment, there was silence. Then she smiled, not with anger, not with pain, but with peace. She said, "I already gave myself the life you couldn't, and this time." Sandra walked away at 61. He thought her story was over, but that was just the beginning. If you were Sandra, would you take him back?